Good afternoon, student. Today we'll going to continue the water resource chapter from water conservation and management. Yesterday we have read about the various sources of water, that is surface and groundwater sources which are used for irrigational purposes. What are the problems that we face regarding water? Why the water quality is deteriorating, that we have read. So as the water quality is deteriorating because of human use, and the human being is not judiciously using it, so we need to conserve water and we have to think for the management strategies. So the water conservation and management is necessary in order to preserve the water. Since there is a declining availability of fresh water and increasing demand, the need has arisen to conserve and effectively manage this precious life-giving resource for sustainable development. Given that water availability from sea, ocean due to high cost of desalination is considered negligible, so India has to take a quick steps and make effective policies and laws and adopt effective measures for its conservation. Besides developing water saving techniques and technologies and methods to be used, attempts are also to be made to prevent the pollution. There is a need to encourage watershed development and management strategies. Rainwater harvesting systems have to be adopted, water recycling and reusing have to be done, and conjunctive use of water for sustaining water supply in long run should be undertaken by us. Now the prevention of water pollution, how is have to be done? We know that available water resources are degrading day by day, and it is degrading rapidly also. The major rivers of the country generally retain better water quality in less densely populated upper stretches in hilly areas. In plains, river water is used intensively for irrigation, for drinking, for domestic and industrial uses. The drains carrying agricultural fertilizers and insecticides, domestic waste such as solid and liquid waste, and industrial effluents join the river system. The concentration of pollutants in river especially remains very high during the summer season when flow of water is low. The Central Pollution Control Board, in collaboration with State Pollution Control Board, has been monitoring water quality of national aquatic resources at 507 stations. The data obtained from these stations shows that organic and bacterial contamination continues to be the main source of pollution in rivers. Yesterday also we have read that both Ganga and Yamuna is the most polluted water in India, or the river system. The Yamuna river is the most polluted river in the country between Delhi and Etawah. And others severely polluted rivers are the Sabarmati at Ahmedabad, Gomti at Lucknow, the Kali at Adyar, and the Yukumu entire stretches, and the Vaigai in Madurai, and the Musi of Hyderabad, and Ganga at Kanpur and Varanasi. So groundwater pollution has occurred due to high concentration of heavy toxic metals, fluorides and nitrates at different parts of the country. The legislative provisions such as the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1974 and Environmental Protection Act of 1986 have been implemented effectively in order to stop the water pollution. The result is that in 1997, 251 polluting industries were located along the rivers and lakes, and the Water Seas Act of 1977, meant to reduce pollution, has also made marginal impacts. So there is a strong need to generate public awareness about importance of waters and impacts of water pollution. The public awareness and action can be very effective in reaching the pollutants from agricultural activities, domestic and industrial discharges. Recycle and reuse of waters have to be done. Another way through which we can improve fresh water availability is by recycling and reusing. So use of water of less quality such as reclaimed wastewater could be an attractive option for industries for cooling and firefighting to reduce their water costs. Similarly, in urban areas, water after bathing and washing utensils can be used for gardening. Water used for washing vehicle can also be used for gardening. So in this way we can conserve the water by recycling and reusing the water. So these could conserve better quality of water for drinking purposes. So currently recycling of water is practiced on a limited scale. So we have to practice it more. However, there is enormous scope for replenishing water through recycling. Now the watershed management programs have to be taken. Watershed management basically refers to efficient management and conservation of surface and groundwater sources. It involves prevention of run-off and storage and recharge of groundwater through various methods like percolation tanks, recharge wells, etc. However, in broad sense, watershed management includes conservation, regeneration, and judicious use of all resources like land, water, plants, and animals, which are natural, and humans within a watershed. Watershed management aims at bringing about balance between natural resources on the one hand and the society on the other hand. So the success of watershed development largely depends upon community participation. For example, in the central and the state government initiatives, watershed development and management programs have been done in our country. So some of these are being implemented by non-governmental organizations also other than the central and state government. For example, Hariyali is a watershed development project sponsored by the central government which aims at enabling the rural population to conserve water for drinking, irrigation, fisheries and afforestation. The project is being executed by Gram Panchayat with people's participation.